Next up on the show is Mike Marlowe, an expert home inspector and the owner of Veteran Home Inspections. So, Mike, the real estate market is changing, right?
Yep.
It was more of a seller's market, and I got to say I feel like they were taking kind of advantage of the buyers a little bit, but I guess that's just what happens. But it's kind of shifting now.
Yes, it
to
is.
more neutral, maybe even more towards a buyer's market, and opinions are going to vary depending on who you talk to.
Yep.
How's this affecting what you guys are doing?
We're still busy as can be. We never really slowed down through the seller's market, but we're still doing a lot of home inspections and keeping rolling.
Okay. Well, that's good. San Antonio market, of course, is doing really, really well.
Yes.
So if somebody is going to buy a home, we all know that they need to have a home inspection. But let's dig into that a little bit. First of all, why do you need it? And then let's talk a little bit more about what you're even looking at.
You need it to figure out what you're buying. We see a lot of seller disclosures, and it's very rare that the seller disclosure covers everything that we find on the home inspection. Seller may not be aware of it, forgot about it. Worst case, they're trying to cover it up. But you need to know what you're buying. Even if you're buying the house as is, you need to find out what as is, so that you
That's a good point, because if somebody's like, well, I'm just going to buy it as is, and forego the home inspection, that's not a good idea.
Not knowing what you're buying, I wouldn't do it with anything. So, even if the seller's not going to repair it, if they come up right up front and say, yeah, you can do a home inspection, but don't send us a repair list, at least you know what you're getting, and you can start to build your repair list for once it's your problem, and keep on top of it, get it back into the condition that you need.
Yeah, especially, if they're going to use it as an investment property and rent it out, then they need to know what's my budget going to be to get stuff fixed,
right,
as well. So I guess that would be pretty ignorant of folks to not. And what do home inspections run on average?
$375 on up, depending on the size of the house.
That's really nothing, really. So, all right, so they want the information so that they can make good decisions going into the purchase. They're aware of what's going on. And so what kind of things are you looking at for like the main home inspection, and then we'll get into some other stuff you guys do?
So main home inspection is going to be the structure of the house, the roof, the walls, the foundation, all of that. We're going to inspect the heating and air conditioning system, the plumbing, the electrical, and the installed appliances. So that's your basic, run-of-the-mill, like you said, home inspection. That's what we have to do on every home inspection.
Okay. Well, that is the basics, but what if somebody wants to do a little bit more, like termites, for example?
Yeah. So termites is a termite wood destroying insect inspection is a completely different inspection or different license. We have that license, and what we're going to do there is we're going to look not only for active, we'll look for signs of past infestations, past treatments, and then just as important, we're going to look for conducive conditions that are things, like wood to ground contact, excessive moisture, vegetation up against the house, things like that are, I always say it's like putting out the welcome mat for the termites and the carpenter ants and all of that to come in and join the party.
Yeah.
So we want to control those conducive conditions so that we don't even get a infestation of wood destroying insects before it becomes a problem.
So how would you determine if a treatment has been done in the past?
There's normally signs that there's treatment, be it the bait stations that you'll see around a house. You can see the drill marks in concrete, like patios and all of that. Or it may be just as simple as the sticker that the treatment company left behind.
Sure. Well, when you say drill marks in a concrete and a brick, what do you mean?
So when they do a treatment, they'll treat around the perimeter of the house, and they'll drill like every 12 to 18 inches, depending on the chemical that they're using, and about a half-inch hole, and then they'll inject the chemical down underneath the concrete slab.
Oh, I got you.
Yep.
So, I mean, that would be obvious, right? For a long time that these are the treatment spots
Right.
that they've drilled.
Yep.
All right. Very interesting. So when it comes to vegetation coming up against the side of the house, this is a thing. So people do it all the time.
Oh, I know.
Why is it bad when it comes to termites?
It gives them the shelter. You can't see them.
Sure.
So if you have the termites coming up the outside of your slab foundation, but it's behind a huge row of bushes, you're never going to see it.
Okay.
Same thing with like trees touching the house. Carpenter ants will use that as a pathway to get into your house, and now they're coming into your house from the top instead of the bottom. The other thing is that that your other pests, rats, squirrels, ringtails, all of that, they love to get into attics, and they'll use the trees to get up onto your roof and into your house.
Yeah, so these are the ghosts everybody talks about. I'm hearing ghosts in the attic.
Yeah.
No, they're
Yep.
just squirrels and raccoons and things like that, right?
Yep.
Okay, so when it comes to a sewer line scope inspection, you guys do those
Right.
as well. So how is this different from the plumbing inspection that you would normally do?
So in a normal home inspection, we're just going to run water, make sure that the drains drain, and nothing backs up. With a sewer camera inspection, we're actually going to run a camera down the main drain line to look for defects.
Okay, so and like what kind of defects are we talking about?
Low spots in the line, offsets, breaks, clogs, roots,
Yeah.
all the stuff that costs a whole lot of money to fix.
Yeah, no kidding, right? And why somebody would buy a house without getting a sewer line scope inspection? I have no idea. 'Cause
Especially in the older areas where you could have the decayed pipes that have well outlived their usefulness.
Yep. That's good information to know. All right, Mike. And you guys also do like mold inspections, I know, as
Yep.
well, lead paint, pool inspections,
Yep.
and roof inspections as well, right? So we're out of time for your segment, but certainly more to talk about later.
Always.
If folks want to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
Okay, our website, vhillc.com, and our phone number is 210-202-1974.
All right. Thank you very much, Mike.
Thank you.
Appreciate it as always.